Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. And yes, I'm here with Ben. Hello, Ben.
Hey, Andrew. Good to be in the same place.
We're in the same place at the same time on the planet Earth. Last week we were on opposite sides of the planet. This week we are indeed in the same place, and we are at Hann Casino Resort, and we're sitting here at the new part of Hann Casino at the back of the canyon, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in the cafe here. We've got the new casino expansion directly behind us. You can see a little bit of that through the...
There's a little rock thing there with the sign on it. And just on the edge of it, you can see a money wheel. And Ben, if you get your head out the way, I think we can see a little board. Oh, it doesn't have to be that far out the way, Ben. But we can see a board there. Is that a roulette? No, I don't think it's a roulette board. But anyway, the casino is behind us, and we have we'll just spin the camera around a little bit, and you can see a little bit of the surroundings where we are at the moment. Hopefully you can still hear me. This is the cafe that we're at the canyon. I think we'll just spin it back. There you go. So that's where we are, where Ben and I are at the moment, at the canyon at Hann Casino Resort in Clark, about a 2-hour drive, or even less than 2 hours sometimes, up from north of Manila. And it's been a big week in gaming, Ben, as it always is. Or medium week in gaming, you might say.
It's been a medium week. We're preparing for earnings season, of course, so everything slows down a little bit in terms of the news cycle, I find, in the lead up to that. But there's still been quite a bit of interesting stuff happening, Andrew, and we've been pretty busy, of course.
We've had a very busy week, yes. As I've alluded to in some previous IAG lives, the Q1 is kind of a quiet quarter for us in terms of public-facing stuff. Of course, we're very busy behind the scenes preparing for the year, and I do a lot of international travel. I've been around the world once already this year, and in Las Vegas and San Diego for IGA, and over down to Australia and UAE and you name it, and get all that out the way. In Q1, and then our activities, our more publicly facing activities, start in Q2. Started this week with MAD, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we pull the stories up. And as always, supporting us back in the studio in Macau, it's Oscar Guiaro, our intrepid studio producer. Come on in, Oscar.
Hello, how are you?
Well, Oscar, I'm only just a few days away. You haven't had my company for 4 months in person, and I'll be there on Monday. So sorry about that.
It's okay. Totally fine.
How are things with you, Oscar?
Everything great. It's just getting ready, making a lot of videos and things for MAD 35. So very good.
Yep. MAD 35 on Tuesday night. We'll get to that in a minute, and see you there at the office. And Ben and I will. Ben won't be there soon. Ben's flying back to Sydney tonight, but I will be there on Monday and at the MAD. All right, Oscar, we'll see you on Monday, or maybe Tuesday morning. By the time I think I get in Monday night, so probably Tuesday morning at the office. See you later, Oscar.
Okay.
Thanks for everything.
Bye.
Yep. All right, well, let's get straight into the stories for the week, which will also cover a little bit about what we've been up to at IAG and the travel that we're doing and so forth. So, Oscar, if you want to pull up the first story, which I believe is the video we posted for Hann thought we'd show this because we are actually at Hann Casino Resort with our friends here at the moment. And Ben's promotional video that they did, and let's just play a minute long, folks. Go full screen, Oscar. Ready from B. We're at Hann. Smoky Moto up the top. Just say yes. Temptation. That's nice. Hann Resorts. Okay, Oscar. Says you want to cut out of that thing, but we can avoid that technical issue we were talking about before. There you go, fixed. So nice ad there from Hann. Very slickly produced, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sort of reflects our stay a little bit. We ate at Smoky Moto the other night.
We did. I believe you had a massage last night.
I did. I had a nice massage here at the spa at Swissôtel. Very, very pleasant, and it's just very, very enjoyable to come here. Very relaxing. It's got a nice vibe.
It's great here, Hann. It's the food is really, really good. I mean, you'd think, okay, Clark, kind of a regional centre, 2 hours outside of Manila. Manila itself, not necessarily as well known for F&B as places like Macau and Singapore. You'd think, how good's the food going to be? But actually, we had a wonderful meal up at Smoky Moto last night. We ate at the Chinese last night, and Chinese are typically they don't, it's difficult for them here in the Philippines to get Chinese right to nail it, but actually it was quite nice as well.
Yeah.
Obviously not quite as good as you would get in Macau, being part of China, but certainly totally acceptable standard if you're hankering for some Chinese. Nothing wrong with those. Wu Sing, isn't it? Wu Sing, I think, is the name of the Chinese here. Smoky Moto, the restaurant up on the roof here at Hann. Great restaurant and some excellent food.
And before you, Jades and I came up a bit before you on Wednesday, and we had lunch at the Italian here as well. And yeah, again, a very, very good meal. Really enjoyed that. One of the best margarita pizzas I've had in a while, actually. So yeah.
Ben's a big fan of the margarita pizza because he doesn't eat meat. Yes. So look, I think Hann, you could do a lot worse than Hann. I think he's done a great job, Mr. Hann, at creating an integrated resort that is of the standards that we expect of our high-class integrated resorts in Macau, Singapore, Manila, and creating that right here at Clark, which is much, much easier to fly into than Manila. I mean, the airport's fantastic. Brand new airport, opened about 6 or 7 years ago. $500 million airport, small regional airport, but small and efficient. Very efficient airport. You get in and out of there really quickly. I've landed at Clark Airport and been physically here at the resort in 15 minutes flat from landing. So very good airport to fly in and out of. And I noticed the other day when I arrived, I think it was it yesterday? No, Wednesday night I arrived, and I noticed all the Emirates girls were all there. The Emirates girls, they fly directly into Clark rather than flying into Manila, and they stay here at Hann as well. So 2 hotels here at Hann, Swissôtel and Marriott, and more on the way, right?
Well, Whitus as well. Got the
Whitus. Yeah.
Yes, more on the way, particularly around Hann Reserve. So I think the brand is still being discussed and finalised, but we should start to see them opening over the next couple of years.
And Wednesday morning, you guys you and Jadeson played golf, and yesterday we had a chat to Tim Neal, who's, I don't know his title, but he's in charge of the golf here. A former professional golfer, and
so general manager here of golf at Hann Reserve.
Right.
Jades and I went and had a look at the new Hann Reserve development. Still a lot of activity, construction going on, but the clubhouse is very close to being finished. Had a good look around there. Actually, I think the locker rooms get handed over this month. So that's all close to finishing. Of course, the first of the 3 golf courses, the Jack Nicklaus course, is open, which is what Jades and I played yesterday. We won't talk about how ugly my swing was, but it was a great experience to go out and try the course. Actually feel quite privileged because at the moment it's only some very VIP players and very elite people that have been given the opportunity to play on that course. So it was nice to get out there and see it early on.
And so you got there's going to be 3 courses here at Hann Reserve, right? The Nicholas course, the KJ Choi course, and the Nick Faldo course,
That's
right?
Yeah.
And also associated hotels out there at Hann Reserve as well. So it's quite a development, and the surroundings here are quite beautiful. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't got yourself up here to Hann, you should. And Mr. Hann continues to excel and develop the property up here, which is great. All right, well, enough about Hann. Let's move on. What do you got next for us? Yeah, I mean, let's just talk. I put this story up not so much to highlight the appointment of the new head of, or DOTS as they call it here, the Department of Tourism, but just to talk about tourism in the Philippines at the moment. Ben, you've been writing a few stories about the fact that fewer Koreans have been and Chinese have been coming here. What's your take on tourism in the Philippines at the moment? I mean, down a bit. And it's also, I think we've got a latest story about the GGR here as well. What's your take on what's going on here at the moment? Because Manila really is an important market for everyone. Probably the number 2 market in Asia. If Manila or I should say Philippines, not Manila. Either Philippines or Singapore, or possibly, arguably, Australia are vying for the number 2 market after Macau.
Yes, I mean, look, overall tourism numbers are fairly stable. In fact, slightly up for the first quarter of this year by about 2% or so, roughly. But the big thing is that so most markets are up. In fact, the top 10, 8 of the top 10 markets are up. But the 2 that are down, of course, are probably the 2 most important, which is South Korea and China. And certainly for the casino operators, you would think that they are the 2 most. We're just getting a lovely
coffees are arriving. Yes,
right
yes.
I should point out that the coffee machine here in the cafe here is a million peso. And I've been told one of only 2 of these types of coffee machines in all of the Philippines.
So million peso, 100,000 peso. So it's about $17,000 US. Wow, that's a lot.
Yes, and I've told there's only 1 other of these types of coffee machines in all of the Philippines, I'm told. So
wow, very good. Yes.
So of course, South Korean and Chinese visitation down. Well, I think we know a lot about why Chinese visitation is down. I mean, there's a few reasons around that, but certainly Pogo is one.
And that's been the case for quite some time, hasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Korea, I think that from what I've been asking a few people this question actually during this trip as to why that's the case. And the Koreans have sort of been exploring the region. I think quite a few are going to Vietnam at the moment, just looking for various options to travel around the region. So Vietnam, of course, is surging at the moment, doing very well. So, but of course, we know the Philippines is putting a lot of effort into bringing those South Korean players back. Clark here is very Korean oriented for the Korean market. So, I think we might see start to claw back as the year develops and as some of those programs that DOT is implementing start to take effect in Korea.
Look, I think it's a seasonal thing. I think we've been around a long time now. IAG's been around 21 years. We've seen times, good times and bad times in every market in Asia. And I think the fundamentals of the Philippines are still very, very strong. You've got a very pro-business regulator, which is super important. We'll be talking about Chairman and CEO of PADCOR, Alejandro Hipólito Tengco, later on. He's a great guy, and he's very, very pro, and the government's very, very pro. I think you've got a place that people enjoy when they get here. It's got a little bit of a reputational problem with some. But I think when people actually get here, they realize, oh, actually, it's not, it's not. These things that people highlight as negatives of visiting the Philippines are not really such a big problem. And the offerings, I mean, people will be shocked when they come here and see this property. Honestly, would you really expect a property like this to be in the countryside in the Philippines? Probably not, but yet it is. So, as that message gets out, I think they will return. You've got a great airport. You've got proximity to Korea. I mean, Korea is an obvious feeder market. It's so easy and so close to fly from Incheon to Clark directly. I mean, I don't actually know how long the flight is, but it couldn't even be an hour, could it? I don't know how long. I mean, all flights seem to be about a minimum of an hour. It certainly wouldn't be any longer than that. So a very easy flight to do. So I think, I think the tourism will return from the Koreans. Certainly China might be a different story, but yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one, Oscar. Yeah, this was a funny one. We actually ran into Evan at MAD on Tuesday night, and look at that height difference between Evan and the poor lass that received the check there. But what I did want to highlight is the huge amount, 271 million pesos, 4.5 million US dollars to your average Filipino. I mean, it's not life changing, it's family changing, it's life changing for generations. I mean, that's an enormous amount of money, isn't it? And businesses like Casino Plus are giving away. And we asked him, we said, is that the biggest jackpot you've ever given away? He said, no, we've actually given one away a little bit bigger than that. I mean, it's apart from the very amusing pictures, Evan's a very large gentleman, very tall, striking guy, Evan, and the poor slip of a lass that received it is a small lady, so the picture looks funny. But good on them for doing that and putting a little bit of publicity around what they're doing. And, they really are changing some lives in the Philippines, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Casino Plus is one of the leading operators in the online space. Obviously doing quite prominent there, doing very, very good job. Evan, of course, is quite an outspoken proponent of the industry. And
I think he speaks excellently. He spoke excellently at IAG EXPO last year, didn't he?
He did.
He gave some really good insights.
Yeah, he gave some great insights into what's happening with the regulatory reforms, what's working, what isn't working, how that should be viewed. So I always enjoy talking to Evan, and he did tell us a few funny stories which we probably can't talk about with this photo as well. But it's you can see that the winner is certainly hiding behind quite a bit of.
Well, I don't blame her one bit.
No.
I mean, that's an enormous amount of money, and obviously it'll be life changing for her, and good on her. But it does also, winning a huge amount of money like that in any country in the world can bring problems too. So people try and do it anonymously, but good on her for being a good sport and turning up for the photo op, and it allows us to give a bit of publicity to what Casino Plus are doing there. And I think as well, Casino Plus, Digi Plus, the other online gaming operators here in the Philippines, they've learnt the lesson of Pogo, and they've realised that if they don't create a sustainable industry with responsible gaming and good checks and balances in place, their industry could go the way of the Pogo industry and could end up being banned. And clearly, that's not what the president of the Philippines wants to do, because he had the opportunity to do it in 2025. Yeah, it was 25, wasn't it? Yeah, last year. He had the opportunity at the State of the Nation address to do it, and he didn't do it. So clearly he doesn't want to do it, but he will do it if he has to. So the industry needs to respond and learn the lesson the Pogo industry didn't learn. And I think they are doing that, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the information that Casino Plus sent about this jackpot being awarded included quite a bit of information highlighting the fact that this whole process was done abiding by PAGCOR regulations. So they're at pains to point that out. It was obviously issue of the day here in the Philippines at the moment. So they made sure, the way it was paid, the way the games are conducted, everything was done above board.
Great. All right, let's move on to the next one, Oscar. Oh, yeah, so little thing that we did at IAG this week. Brought it up for a couple of reasons. So we've created this some of you are navigating our site asgam.com, asgam.com. That's obviously the main site of IAG and has been for more than 2 decades. Will have noticed a new feature at the top of the website. In fact, you're on the website, Oscar. Maybe you can, there you go. You're waving your cursor around the black bar at the top there. And now, using that black bar, you can very easily navigate to our sister sites. So, Oscar, why don't you just click on CDC, for example, there, and go straight to CDC. There you go. And you'll see there the black bar is also at CDC. You can go back to IAG. So you can easily switch between CDC, IAG, and CIG. Maybe click on CIG there. Complete iGaming, also our sister B2B media gaming company, but covering the iGaming industry in the Americas and Asia Pacific, as opposed to IAG, obviously covering Asia Pacific, and CDC covering the Americas. So back to IAG, I think, and you can even click on the Complete Gaming. That's just the corporate site for Complete Media Group there on the far left. Oscar's just clicked on it. And that's just our corporate site explaining our company. But the media, for the people that want gaming media, gaming intelligence and insights into the industry, IAG, CDC, and CIG. And I think in a broader sense, this is bringing the companies a little bit closer together. When we merged on January 1, 2025, when IAG and CDC merged, it's kind of like we got married and we had a baby straight away. The baby was CIG, we did together. We were at great pains not to mess too much with the winning formula that we had in IAG and a winning formula that CDC had. Both, quite successful at what they do, and we didn't want to mess with that. I think some companies, they merge and they immediately want to shove the two companies together and get all the savings, and especially if it's a merger driven by private equity. This is what they want to do. We took a different approach with our merger. We did not get rid of any staff. First thing we did is we assured all staff members on both sides of the Pacific that no one was going to lose their jobs as part of this merger. In fact, if anything, we're going to put more people on, which we have done and continue to do, and that we were not going to mess too much with what IAG and CDC are. But in this year, the second year now of us being merged companies in 2026, we're just going to push a little bit closer in some ways, and this is an example of that. So, Oscar, maybe just go back to the IAG thing. Anything for you to say on that, Ben? Anything to add?
No, you've covered it well, Andrew. I guess the fact that you say we didn't want to blur the lines between the distinct brands. The merger between CDC and IAG, we still kept those brands quite separate and distinct. We didn't change the identities or anything like that. But I think by adding this navigation bar, it's just trying to highlight the breadth of our coverage area, particularly with the addition of CIG, Complete iGaming. I think certainly time now to start to highlight to people what we're doing there.
Yep. We'll be pushing Complete iGaming out a little bit more this year. Some announcements and some advancements there. But media brands take a long time to evolve and to develop. You can't rush these things. So that's that one. Let's move on to the next one, Oscar. Yes, so we also announced this week. Sorry, there's a bit about us this week, but there were quite a few things happened internally with our company this week. Confirm new dates for the IAG EXPO, and what this is about is mainly about ASEAN, the political conference, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. I think there's 12 countries in that: Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam, etc. And they have their annual conference. They actually have 2 conferences per year, and that rotates between the 12 nations in alphabetical order. And actually this year, 2026, it's the Philippines. But what's happened with the sort of the global crisis we've got at the moment with the Iran war and the increasing cost of fuel is that a lot of the meetings are for ASEAN. 500 meetings across the year over 9 months. So it's not just the 2 main meetings, it's also all these other meetings as well are being pushed later in the year. And unfortunately, the Marriott Grand Ballroom is a major venue for ASEAN. So I think if the president knocks on Newport's door and says, we need your ballroom, and IAG knocks on their door and says, we need your ballroom, I think the president's going to win, and that's as it should be. So we've agreed to, as a result of that, push the dates forward a week and also move the venues. We're not going to do it at the Marriott Grand Ballroom. We're going to go back to the Hilton Ballroom where we did it in 23 and 24. The awards will still be at the Manila Ballroom as they were last year, which was great because that's a much bigger venue. And unfortunately, we had to move the dates, which I hate doing because I know people make plans, but it was totally beyond our control. But they won't change again. This is hard and fast and absolutely locked now. So the IAG Expo will proceed. But the other factor here is we had to pause the exhibition for 1 year. So for 1 year we'll be pausing the exhibition, and that will come back in 2027. That's an absolute given. And any comments from you, Ben, on that?
I think you've covered it well, Andrew. Of course, our summit, we've been running that for 3 years now, 4 years. I think it's
this will be the 4th year. Yeah,
I think it's the strongest industry summit in the region.
We
put a lot of effort into our content, and we'll be doing that again this year. So, and as you said, we're going back to the Hilton this year to have our summit elements. But we've had a great time.
There's nothing wrong with that venue. Absolutely fine. Yeah, absolutely fine. And, I agree. I mean, part of the reason why we started with the IAG Expo was we were getting a lot of encouragement from the industry. Look, you guys should be doing the main summit for the Asian gaming industry, and we are. So that's thanks, Oscar. You scroll down to that's probably a good idea to scroll down there to that table with the events. There's a picture of last year's summit, and so we'll do. And the new this year is, of course, is the CIG Idea Summit. So we're adding on the Monday an iGaming day, which basically at Padcor's request, an iGaming day on the Monday. So there's now going to be, on the Monday will be the CIG Idea Summit at the Hilton Ballroom. Then on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, we'll have the traditional IAG Academy 2-day summit that we always have. And on the Thursday, we're actually doing the Regulators Forum, which is a bit of a closed-door event for Asian gaming regulators.
Yep, no, absolutely, I agree with that, and I think I'll just add that recent years we've had a couple of sessions in our summit looking at the iGaming industry, but there's just so much happening now, particularly here in the Philippines, that I think it deserves its own day. So
it needs a day. Yeah, I mean, we commented on that last year, and we could easily have done a day's worth of content just on iGaming and in the Philippines. So so that's all about that. So please visit IAGEXPO.com. Of course, the expo has its own website, IAGEXPO.com, and you can find out everything you need to know there. And we'll soon be announcing more information on the programs for the summits, the CIG Idea Summit, the iGaming Summit on the Monday, and the main summit on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. And we've just about filled the judges, I think, or maybe we even have filled the 100 judges. We pushed out the 75 judges for the IAG Academy IR Awards yesterday, but actually we've got a lot more than 75 filled, and we cap it out at 100. So I think next week the folks will probably see the email go out with the final list of the 100 judges for the awards. So that's well and truly progressed. And we're nearly about to announce the categories, aren't we, for 2026?
Yeah, we're just finalising the categories. In fact, I think we're pretty much settled on it.
Pretty much
just
done.
Just got to lock that in finally, and that should be quite possibly announced next week as well.
Yeah, I think that could be next week as well. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on, Oscar.
There we go. MAD at LaVie.
Yeah, more about us. Sorry about this, folks. A lot about us this week. I feel a bit embarrassed talking about ourselves. We should be talking about the industry a bit more, but it is industry stuff. You know, the industry got together. MAD at LaVie, and interesting LaVie, very interesting property. I think I'll let you talk about LaVie.
Yeah, well, look, I think I mentioned over the past few weeks that the last time I went to LaVie prior to this past week was 19 years ago. So I was very keen to go back and have a look. And obviously, it's in the midst of a $1 billion renovation, revamp that's ongoing. And just starting to see some of the benefits of that. So where we had our MAD there, as you can see in the grand lobby, you can see the couple of the pillars there that are quite striking features when you walk into the
you walk straight into the lobby. You got these 4 massive pillars with LED on all 4 sides of the pillars, floor to ceiling. It's amazing, isn't it?
Very high quality LED. And
scroll down, Oscar. I think we've got a better picture of those 4, haven't we? Do we? Scroll down. Keep going. Or maybe we don't. Keep going. Do we have another one from up high?
I feel like we have one.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Ben, I interrupted you.
Yeah, so, I mean, really striking, weren't they, those pillars? And, of course, they're in the process of renovating hotel rooms, 3 levels at a time. They're working their way through. So they've opened a few of those levels. They've got another 3 levels opening this month, I believe they said. And I think we'll get to another story on LaVie coming up shortly. But look, a great event, Andrew. I thought it was really a lot of fun, this MAD event.
Yeah, look, the atmosphere was fantastic. We hadn't had a MAD since Christmas, since December. So I think people were hanging out for a MAD, actually. It was very, very well attended. And we had representatives there from all of the integrated resorts, all of the Manila, all 5, counting LaVie, because that is now an integrated resort. And we were talking to Mr. Aurelio Tablante. Everyone calls him Rel. And he's the Chief Business Officer of non-gaming there at LaVie, and we're talking to him about the redevelopment. And I think we've got a story on that, don't we? Yeah, so yes. We'll save it for them. But look, a great event, very well attended. I think we had about a bit over 150 people there. The chairman was there. Great atmosphere, and thank you very much to LaVie for providing the venue, and also to our other sponsors as well. At the event, it was just a great event. We'll be publishing the video from the event, I guess, next week, I would say.
Yep, very soon.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on, Oscar. Next one. I'll let you talk about this one.
I guess so. Yeah. So Chairman Tengco got up and gave a speech at MAD 34 at LaVie on Tuesday night. And he spoke, mainly he spoke about the fact that these are challenging times globally with the Middle East situation, but that the best thing we can do as an industry in these times is to come together. he spoke quite passionately about that. So, he sort of looked around the room and said, it's just great to see all these faces together. Even when times are challenging, we come together and we work together. And as you said, Andrew, like this industry will always have, like any industry, will have highs and lows.
Yep.
So at the moment, it's a bit challenging, but we'll come through.
Challenging for the Philippines. I think Macau's doing just fine. Yeah, Macau's absolutely killing it. I think Singapore's just fine too. But it's challenging for the Philippines because the cost of fuel has risen quite a lot here compared to other countries, and that's affected their domestic market, which is an important market in the Philippines. But look, Chairman Tengco, great cheerleader for the industry here in the Philippines. He's done an excellent job as the leader of the regulator in developing. He's done it in a way that we haven't seen from other chairmen of PADCOR over the decades. And again, great speech he gave, a really rousing speech that was well received by the crowd.
Yep.
All right, let's move on, Oscar. Yeah, so beginning of earnings seasons, Ben.
Earnings season starts next Thursday morning at Asia time. Las Vegas Sands, as always, will be the first of the big ones, certainly the first of the Macau operators to release their results for Q1. So looking forward to that. I guess interesting to see whether the increased promotional effort that Sands have spoken about in Macau will pay dividends. And it'll be interesting to see whether they can match the $800 million in EBITDA in Singapore that they achieved in the fourth quarter.
Amazing.
Don't know about that. That's an incredible result.
Amazing.
But yeah, plenty happening. Andrew, you and I have spoken about this at the moment in the EBITDA margins in Macau. The promotional environment in Macau is very competitive, and that is squeezing margins. I've often said you'd love to be in the position that Macau is in. Sometimes the things that we describe as challenging in Macau are problems that everybody else would love to have, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. I mean, the enormous GGR sort of solves a lot of issues, but then, of course, you need to service that GGR. It's expensive and it is uber competitive. It really is competitive. I think MGM was the one that really kicked that off post-COVID. They hit the ground running post-COVID and kicked off a highly competitive environment. The others have caught up now, of course, and been caught up for quite some time, and everybody's at each other's throats for revenue, as they should be. And who's the winner from that? The winner is the customer. The customer gets a great offering, and Macau continues to be a great offering. And now with the junket sort of out of the picture, mostly out of the picture, and the mainland Chinese government seemingly very happy with what's going on in Macau at the moment, it's good for the industry. It's good for the health of the industry. So I think I'd be very, very interested to see what these numbers in this first quarter earnings season are going to be. And of course, Sands first cab off the rank. I mean, you can't really put it on Patrick Dumont. He's only been running the show since March 1. It's only 1 month, but it is the first quarter of Mr. Dumont being at the helm just for the last month of the quarter at Sands. So that'll be a change of dynamic. No more Rob Goldstein. Rob's still senior advisor, of course, to Sands, but he's not no longer running the company. And I had the pleasure of catching up with Patrick. I got an hour of his time when I was in Las Vegas, and nice to have a chat to him. And I think he's going to be one that makes comments and comes out and speaks publicly and is prepared to sort of be open about what they're doing. I mean, what they're doing in the basketball, for example, is just fantastic. That's a great initiative of theirs. So let's see if under Mr. Dumont's leadership, Sands can get that EBITDA up, as Rob Goldstein was always saying, up towards the Singapore levels. Obviously, Singapore doesn't have the revenue of Macau, but it certainly has the profitability, doesn't it?
Our margin's well above 50%. It's a good business if you can get it.
Great business. Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. So earnings season, first cab off the rank. We're expecting Sands Thursday morning, are we? Next week. Yeah, that'll be really interesting. I'll be looking for. So make sure you get your IAG BB 8 a.m. Macau time on Thursday morning next week. That's going to be a really interesting one. All right, Oscar, next. LaVie.
Yeah, so we were just touching on this before. Obviously, we spoke to Aurelio Tablante during the MAD event, or just before. Actually, I had a nice chat to him, speaking about what's going on at LaVie, the renovations, where they're up to, the progress report. They're working on, I think the pool's closed. They're working on the pool at the moment. But they are aiming to have all of that done by the end of this year, all things going well. And look, I think it's a very interesting property, Andrew. It's in a different area of Manila, but obviously they've got a bit of a vision for what they can achieve there.
And there's a picture of Rel speaking at the event. Yeah, they're in Malate, which is about a 20-minute drive north of Entertainment City, still obviously in the heart of urban Metro Manila. But yeah, they can capture they've got a slightly different footprint. So that gives them an opportunity, probably a blessing and a curse. If they play their cards the right way, they can turn it into more of a blessing and less of a curse. Renovating an existing property that's been around for decades and turning it into an IR rather than starting with a greenfield site, I mean, that's a challenge. And to renovate and transform a property whilst you're operating, also a challenge. So I don't envy them on that front. They've been working at it for a couple of years now, and they reckon another 9 months or so to go. So let's see what they come up with. But more competition is good. So if you haven't been to LaVie, there you go, 1.7 thousand views. So people are interested, and probably a lot of people haven't been to LaVie. At some point, you should get yourself up there and just take a bit of a look around. And how many machines and tables do they just expand? I think it was in your story, wasn't it?
It is, but I'll have to look at what it
Oscar,
says.
we'll just scroll down. 600 rings of bells, these machines. Can you see it, Oscar? It's a little bit small for us on this screen. Thanks, Oscar. That's we're just expanding it on our screen. I've expanded the gaming tables to 116 and the number of slot machines 664. So no small property.
No, I think when we were there, we could still see a lot of the boarding up around the second floor gaming area, which is obviously under renovation. They've done a bit of work on the ground, or the main floor, ground floor casino. They've got over a number of levels, actually. They've got a VIP section, I think, on level 5 from memory it was. Quite a nice VIP gaming area, quite nicely laid out, and obviously that's been updated. So yeah, they're starting to bring this whole property up to date.
Yeah, a couple of little F&B outlets and things like that. They're getting there. And I see there's a comment there from one of our audience saying hello. So thank you to that from Pirate, whoever Pirate is. Next one, Oscar. What do we got? Where are we at? The next one. Grant Bowie.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a friend of the channels, I guess we can say.
One of our Power 50 judges.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was a long-time senior executive MGM China, was CEO of MGM China, retired in 2020, I believe.
Right.
And headed back down under. And
New Zealand, Grant lives in New Zealand and Macau, doesn't he? I think he shares his time between New Zealand and Macau.
Yeah. So he's taken on the unenvious task of helping Star.
I think it'd be quite interesting, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Well, look, I think the thing about this is that Star is starting to populate their board with people they believe have the experience and the knowledge to generally turn themselves around. I think Grant is the second new non-executive director appointment over the past month or so.
I think it's a great appointment. I mean, Grant's got obviously extensive experience across the industry. He's got extensive Australia experience. I mean, he was at Jupiter's, of course, all those years ago, now Star Gold Coast, all those years ago. He's got a wealth of experience, basically retired. But as a non-executive director, you can't go wrong. I mean, we need some casino people in the Australian casino industry, don't we? There's so many non-casino people, and Grant is a casino person. So I think that's an enlightened decision. I'm a fan. I think he might have to recuse himself from the judging panel of the Power 50. I think Grant mentioned last year probably that was his last year for being a judging panel of Power 50, because he's been there for quite some time. So I think we will see Grant not be a judge of the Power 50 anymore, which is probably right to do. He'll be on the board there at Star and see if he can make a contribution towards turning that property around. It's exciting. I mean, we've had a number of interviews with Sue Kim, of course, Bruce Matheson Jr. is the CEO, and they've got to be bringing the changes in that place because it was a mess, and probably continues to be a bit of a mess until they fix it up. So when a place is a mess, what do? You make changes, and they're making changes there. So good to see Grant in that role. We wish him well.
Absolutely.
We wish him luck in the position. It'd be great to see that property turn around. And your home city, your hometown, Ben.
It's my home casino, Andrew. I spent many hours at Star Sydney, so I do hope they turn it around. It's obviously,
Absolutely,
I've got a soft spot for that place, so I'd love to see it thriving again.
Yeah, and of course you've got Crown Sydney as well, so you've got intercity competition there between the two, and if a healthy Star is good for the industry. And Crown has been getting healthier and healthier and healthier over the past couple of years, or even longer than that now, since when did Kieran start? About 4 years ago now, didn't he? And then he had Kieran for 2 years, now David Sy for I think a couple of years maybe. I caught up with David earlier in the year. We had dinner, had a bit of a chat. They're going well there at Crown. And a healthy Crown, a healthy Star will lead to a healthy Australia, which is good for the industry as a whole in the Asia Pacific region. So that's fantastic. All right, let's move on. What's next, Oscar? Yeah, so we're talking about some of the tourism challenges here in the Philippines, and Padcore issued their GGR numbers for 2025, and that reflects what's been going on here in the Philippines a little bit, doesn't it, Ben?
Yeah, licensed casinos, all land-based casinos, licensed casinos and Padcore casinos have suffered a decline. Licensed casinos, as you can see there, about 9.6% decline last year. Was offset by significant growth. Obviously, Rod Hackman.
Hey, Rod, you want to stick your head in? We're broadcasting live. You want to say hi to the audience of IAG? Just come around, come around, just come around. So we've got I don't know what's Rod's title here. He's taking over from Dennis. We'll have to ask Rod. Yeah, just happened to be walking past. So, Rod, what's your actual title here? Vice President. Comes to have a stand around here, Rod. Vice President of Gaming Operations, Rod Hackman. Hey, Rod. Good to see you.
Morning, Andrew. Morning, Ben.
Yeah, so there you go. So great to see you. And we're broadcasting live, our IAG Live we do on Fridays, and we just thought we'd do it here just before we got out of here. So
welcome to Hann.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes. How's the area out the back going?
Very good.
Excellent.
Got a lot of traction. We needed more assets, and opening the canyon extension has certainly provided that.
It was always packed here on Friday and Saturday night, so you needed that extra space, didn't you?
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah, very good. Oh, well, thanks for saying hi to everyone, Rod.
Okay.
Take care.
Rod.
Okay,
See you
thanks,
guys.
Rod. See ya.
Thanks.
Yes, so and Dennis Andriachi, of course, was the previous leader here at Hann, won the industry legend last year at the awards, and then promptly retired. And Rod's taken over, and Rod's been was at Singapore, he was at PH for a while, was in Jeju in Korea. His brother's Michael Hackman's also in the industry.
Yep.
A very liked person in the industry, and doing a great job up here at Hann. So Mr. Hahn's got a good one in Rod, I think. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Philippines.
Philippines.
GGR,
There you go. Yeah.
So it's obviously land-based, facing a bit of a tough time, but certainly the e-games boosted the revenue last year. So I believe the number was around about 6.7 billion for the industry in 2025. And for the first time, the e-games segment contributed more than 50% of that. So I think that does reflect what we've been saying, the state of the industry here at the moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The e-games, or PIGO, or iGame, Philippines iGaming, whatever you want to call it, that is a very, very important part of the sector. And we report about that in Complete iGaming, of course. All right, let's move on to the next one, Oscar. Can you just pass whichever one is mine? Oh, that's it. Oh, we're done.
There you go.
Okay, very good. All right, well, let's have a bit of a chat about what we're up to now. So we're here with Jadeson, of course. Not quite sure where Jadeson is. I think he's checking out or something. We're just about to leave Hann. Jadeson's going back to Macau today, and preparation for our MAD on Tuesday. You and I are heading down to Manila shortly, and then you're off to Sydney tonight?
Heading to Sydney, yep. Back home for a little while before heading to Melbourne in early May for the Aussie Millions. So I'll be in Melbourne for 9 days, I believe. So you and I will be there.
Yes, I'll be heading down to Melbourne as well. I'm going back to Macau on Monday, spending the weekend in Manila, going back to Macau on Monday, and then, of course, I'll have a couple of weeks in Macau, catching up with industry friends there. Obviously, MAD at Aurora at Altira on Tuesday night. Really looking forward to that. And I think you're looking forward to that, Ben. Oh, well, you won't be there, will you?
Won't be there,
but
no.
you've been instrumental in getting that one organised, actually. So
yeah, I mean, Melco are very keen to showcase Aurora. Great little place there, great deck with a beautiful view out over Macau. So I think this time of year is the perfect time of year to take advantage of that.
I had kind of forgotten about it, and when talking to people about it, everybody said the same thing. Everybody said, "Oh yeah, Aurora." Forgot about that place because it's been around for a very long time, and just a fantastic property, and just a fantastic Italian, eatery. And you forget about places sometimes. So it's great to have for us to have MAD there to kind of remind the industry about what a great venue it is. So we'll be there on Tuesday, and then I'm in town for a couple of weeks, and then I'll be flying down to Australia, and you'll be down to Melbourne, and you'll be flying down to Melbourne, and we will meet in Melbourne for your favourite thing,
the Aussie Millions.
The Aussie Millions.
Yep. So,
and
that should be a great week or so, actually. Looking forward to that.
And you heard it here first. I will actually be playing in the Aussie Millions. So I first poker tournament for many, many years. I haven't had time. I used to play poker very, very rare. In fact, that's how we met, isn't it? All those years ago.
Yep, many, many years ago when I was covering poker and you were playing extensively. And
Yep. So I'm going to play the main event of the Aussie Millions. So that's a $10,600 entry fee. It's going to be fascinating to see how many they get. I'm really, really interested. We were speculating last night about it, weren't we? And I was saying maybe they can get 600, 650, something like that. I mean, I don't know what you think the line's at now.
Look, I think if they get 500, they'll be ecstatic.
I agree. If anything over 500 or above is a success.
And once we start to go up from there, then it's just cream on top, really, I think, for them.
I got a feeling it's going to be real. It's going to go gangbusters. I got a feeling that people are hanging out for that event. They love the Aussie Millions. It hasn't been one for 6 years. I bet you there's a lot of pent up. A bit like after COVID, the revenge travel. I think they're just going to get shocked, and all these people are going to walk in and go. They're going to go, "Oh, you haven't seen you for 6 years. Oh, you." And all these people are going to be like last minute entries, because typically in a poker tournament, it's always last minute entries, right?
Yeah, that's right. A lot of them. Yeah, and I think Crown understands as we start some construction just nearby, Crown understands the poker opportunity, I think, better than almost anybody in the region. And they're putting a lot of effort into this event. Obviously, they've got 3 pretty big name ambassadors in Michael Mizraki, Joe Hasham, and Van Marcus.
All of whom have been interviewed by IAG over the past few weeks.
That's right. Yep. And we've obviously known, particularly Joe and Van, for many, many years we've known them. So looking forward to seeing them. And look, I think certainly the cream of the Australian and probably the Asian poker crop will be there. And I think we'll see quite a few big names from across the globe venture down too, because it's such a great event. Just a very enjoyable week, great property, plenty to do in Melbourne. Yeah, so looking forward to that one.
Yeah, look, it's going to be fantastic. And so I'll be down there and playing. Ben, you'll be doing some commentary down there. And of course, our good friend Harold Markless, in charge of gaming down there at Crown Melbourne. And also Dan running the poker room. Dan, remind me Dan's surname? Tribbiano, yep. Running the poker room down there. And of course, it's not in those of our audience who may remember the poker room kind of in the basement. It's not there. It's upstairs, right? So it's a much nicer poker room than before.
Yeah, a lot more light. Well, there's pretty much no light in the basement. But there's natural light. Yeah, it's nice, big, expansive area.
Calling it the basement is kind. It was actually the car park, wasn't it? It was the car park, and then they tricked out the car park. But now it's upstairs, a smoking area there. F&B nearby, natural lights. It'll be great. It'll be really, really great. I'm really looking forward to it.
I think there's going to be quite a few pop-ups as well, little pop-up food stalls and various things as well.
Okay,
so
that's excellent.
There's going to be a lot going on.
And the actual dates are April 24, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
To 10th of May.
To the 10th of May. Yeah. So I'll be playing. Hopefully, I can last a bit longer than an hour or something. Well, let's see how I go. So yeah, we'll both be going down there. For a week or so, and then we'll be both flying back up to Macau for G2E Asia, of course. G2E Asia and TIP, the industry party, Wednesday, the 13th of May. If you haven't got a ticket to TIP, get one. You'll need the ticket. They'll be the hottest item in town that week. You're getting an entry ticket into TIP. That's going to be a great party, always a great party. Many hundreds of people there. And the who's who of the gaming industry will be there. It's almost like a super MAD, isn't it? Like a MAD on steroids tip. Yeah. So we'll be doing that. And then I'm off to Toronto, actually, and back to the US to do a few things in Canada and down in Florida. and in Las Vegas, and then I'll be back again to Asia. So a bit of travel coming up. What'll be your next trip after that, Ben? Do you have anything planned?
Well, pending anything that pops up unexpectedly, it'll probably be IAG EXPO, I think.
Right, in September.
So I'll be in Sydney for the Sydney
It's not
winter.
that far away. It's only 5 months away.
Yeah,
you
it'll
know,
come fast.
it'll roll around quickly. So IAG Expo at Newport World Resort, September 14 to 17. Make sure you get ready for that. Well, I think that's it for us here. Didn't see Jason turn up, but that's okay. Look, thanks for listening, and thanks for following IAG as you all do. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Now, where will we be next Friday? I'll be in Macau, and you'll be in Sydney.
So, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend, and I think that's bye for now. See you later.
Bye.
Ciao.